Matter of fact, it's question of the day. Question of the day. Do men and women have different definitions of control? I'm actually gonna go to TikTok for this, and we're gonna listen to a video by this dope podcast that I found on TikTok. We're gonna listen to a video by them, and we're gonna get into this question. Check it out.
Who's right? I told my fiance that I wanted to get a headlamp to go running. He said, "What do you?" I need to know who's right. I told my fiance that I wanted to get a headlamp to go running. He said, "What do you need a headlamp for?" And he did that whole eyebrow raise thing, all skeptical like. I said, "So I can go running because it's dark outside." He said, "I thought you've been running when it's dark. You just stay on like the well-lit paths and areas." I said, "Yeah, but I want to hit this other trail and it's not lit. And so I need a headlamp so I can see." He said, "Oh, you mean that trail that's kind of like out in the woods that doesn't have any other lights and not a lot of other people around?" I said, "Yeah, bingo, that trail." He said, "Absolutely not." I said, "Did you just tell me no? Why?" He said, "So you want to run in the dark by yourself in the woods in a secluded area on a trail by yourself?" I said, "Well, that was the plan." He said, "No, not going to happen. Sorry." Am I overreacting, or is he just being protective, looking out for me? What would you do?
So I first of all wouldn't be out there running in the dark. I'm gonna start with that one. I think sometimes we take this independent thing too far. I really do. I'm not sure. Even when I don't feel like he should have even had to lay it out. You want to run in the dark at night in a wooded area that's secluded, and then you said, yeah, like none of it. Do you not watch TV? You don't. You no true crime, no Law and Order. And don't get me wrong, okay? Should you be able to go out here and do these things and not worry about somebody knocking you upside your head? Absolutely, you should. Is that the reality that we live in? No, it is not. I'm with fiance on this.
You talking about she should be able to do this without worrying about somebody knocking her out, but what about the boogeyman? Because ain't nobody,
You get on my nerves.
No, but seriously though, bears. I mean,
yes, you're right. You're right. You're running in the woods.
I mean,
coyotes,
dogs, and all the you got rabbits out there. You never know what you're gonna run into out there. But yeah, definitely the husband makes complete and total sense. I think a lot of times when husbands or boyfriend express that they don't want their significant other to do things, is seen as controlling. But it's not that he's trying to control your actions. He's actually trying to protect you. He's also trying to protect both of y'all because, he doesn't want you out there and something happening to you. And then now the police knocking on his door, asking him where he's been. And now he's the first suspect. It's so many different things that can go wrong in this scenario.
And if you want to call it control, call it control. He's controlling, keeping you alive.
And unfortunately, and y'all not gonna like this, I can't really provide a lot of protection for somebody that's not gonna listen to what the heck I'm trying to tell them to do to keep them safe.
All right, y'all. So do men and women have different definitions of control? Joe Jett said, yeah, we define power differently and women define it wrong. He's being protective. Shout out to Joe Jett, always profound in the chat. Yeah, I think that yesterday on the Queen's panel last night, shout out to all the ladies that were on the Queen Codes last night. Make sure y'all go back and check out the live stream if y'all missed it on the Queen Codes panel. But I think that we got into a good discussion and a bit of a debate kind of on the concept of control, because it seemed as though control was being redefined, right? It seemed as though it was being like the concept of control was being portrayed or perceived to be synonymous with controlling, right? Like somebody with a control problem or a control freak. There's a difference between somebody being a control freak and somebody just simply having control, right? There are people who want to flex their muscles, make all the decisions, stonewall other people's ideas. They've always got the best idea. That exists. 1,000,000% that exists. But is that all leaders? I think not. Miles Batchelor said control can sound negative to the one being controlled. It can. It can. But I would say this. We pick and choose, and this isn't in disagreement with you, Miles, just adding on. We pick and choose when we're okay with control, because if times get hard enough somebody will kneel down and pray for God to take control. Am I lying? Tell me, Chad, am I lying?
Classic.
If times get hard enough, somebody will kneel down and ask God to take control. Jesus, take the wheel.
I'm only gonna do this once.
Right? But your husband, his control is inconvenient. Right?
All right now.
Huh? His control
All
inconvenient.
right now.
His protection is overbearing.
Classic.
And they held on. Where souls of thought at when you need them? He told me go snowboarding. Now this happens. I'm not real big on race, you know, but this happens to be a non-black woman. Y'all told me going snowboarding was the fix. Now this Caucasian queen here is trying to be insubordinate to her husband's protection.
Classic.
I want to hold those feet to the fire, all just the same. We're gonna keep the same energy. Joe Jett said, the men create a community of civility for women to have structure and protection, and then they want to go outside of it, get traumatized, and complain the rest of their lives about it. Wow.
Classic.
Now listen, if there were Joe Jett, I have to say this, if there were a feminist present, they would definitely call what you just said victim blaming. They would. Because one thing that was stated here was, should you be able, and this was by the host of the podcast, they said, should you be able to go outside at night and run on that wooded trail without having to worry? Absolutely. But that's not the reality. Well, I'm going to be real with you. I don't believe in us beefing with God. In accordance to the design of nature, humans running through the woods at night, bad idea based on the design that God laid
Classic.
out. Just flat out. You forget worrying about being snatched up by somebody who's trying to, put you in a van and take you somewhere. Forget that. Like they said, just the natural beings outside. Bears, wolves, coyotes, depending on where you live. Skunks, raccoons will get down on you at night. If you jogging through there and you don't see a group of raccoons, because raccoons live in trees, in case y'all don't know. I don't know where everybody from. If you don't see a group of raccoons and there's some babies over there, mama and them gonna get protective. If you don't see them and you just jogging along like it's sweet, you might have to deal with some raccoons.
Classic.
Jogging through the woods at night in general, and you talking to somebody who used to walk his dog through the woods at 2 a.m. And so it would seem like double talk, but no, it was me, some pepper spray, a hunting knife, my 100-pound Akita. You know what I'm saying? So we got our own little setup, and I had light. You know what I'm saying? So I could see, and I had reflection, and so we would see coyotes. The coyotes see me at 6'2" and like 200, 205, and they see my 100-pound dog, and you know what I'm saying? And the coyote decide to make a business decision. You see what I'm saying? You can go walk through the woods at night if you set up properly, but jogging through there as a small, because this woman don't look big, as a little small human being, and you just jogging through that shit, you might end up lunch.
Classic.
Might be supper.
I'm only gonna do this once.
You might be supper. Joe Jett said, I would say she's being controlling by not working in cohesive manner to keep peace in the community. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I'm victim blaming. Don't go and make yourself a victim. Predators exist. What she thinks it should be doesn't. What she thinks it should be does not exist.
Classic.
Joe Jett, put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, like, hey, reality. Hello. Running through the woods at night, bad idea. For a man or a woman. By yourself too. On top of that, it's different if you're running in a group of 6 or something like that. Like, you got to understand how animals work, right? And predatory humans. You have to understand how they work. If it's a group of 6 of y'all and everybody got headlamps and then y'all go trekking through the woods, a lot of things that see you before you see them will probably get out your way 9 times out of 10. For real. But that's different. She talking about going on a solo trot. That's crazy work. And why are you making a habit of jogging at maybe? And you know what though? We don't know where this lady lives. Maybe she lives somewhere like really, really suburban, like super suburban, right? So let's not assume. But in general, for most husbands, I think my wife having a jog at night habit, right? That would be a problem. Hey, I'm gonna start jogging at night every day. The fuck you ain't. What are you talking about? You trolling?
Classic.
You see what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be something? The tears down. FIFO. What's that? I believe in bears and Sasquatch. They exist. She's jogging to some people. Oh, she's jogging to some pole. Ah, you think she trying to go cheat? Yeah, I got a jogging at night habit. It is a convenient way to step out right quick and go and then come home funky without no questions being asked.
Classic.
Cortez, your sinister mind is kind of crazy. He says she's jogging to some pole. You think yeah. If you say you got a jogging at night habit and you jog off to go get some other rod and come home funky, your husband ain't gonna ask no questions. You've been outside running. You're supposed to stank a little bit. You just want to come in and get straight in the shower. Doesn't set off any alarms. It's the perfect alibi. Hey, Tez, hey man, you been through some shit, huh, brother?
I'm only gonna do this once.
That's kind of crazy. Joe Jet said, right, Tez. Miles Bastard said, F around, find out. Oh, okay. Okay. He said, I was the pole once upon a time. Hey!
Classic.
Way to be on the right side of the deal, brother. Way to be on the right side of the deal. Life gone life. But yeah, man. Yeah, so do you think that so ultimately I think we coming to the conclusion that men and women do have a different definition of control. I learned that in real time yesterday because it's almost like these words, they become like trigger words or inflammatory words. And when that word goes off, the worst thing associated with the word is what comes to mind as the definition. Like we talked about I forget who brought up control, but one of the ladies brought up control, and then they instantly started talking about like somebody who was overbearingly controlling. And it's like, that's not what control is in its purest form. It can be that, right? You can use having control and abuse of power that way, but that's not all that control consists of. And so it was an interesting conversation. It was educational for me because, learning other people, having a conversation with somebody or with people who have different perspectives from you, the best thing you could do is learn their perspectives and take that in so you understand that there's people that think other ways. Trying to get them to think like you, a lot of times is a waste of time. A lot of us and most of us could do a better job of communicating to understand each other versus communicating to agree. You know what I'm saying? So I think we do a good job of that on all our panels. Let's see. Miles Bastard said exactly. Obedience is another word. Facts. Sovereign. They don't like obedience. Miles, they don't like obedience. Don't say obedient. Don't say subordinate. Don't say submission. Don't say, oh, it's a bunch of them, Miles. We should do a whole segment on the list of flag words that'll send a conversation left quick. Soft Rain said there was questions that I didn't actually answer during the show. I'm going to go back through and do a reaction so I can answer them. Okay, bet. Yeah, you was laid back yesterday. I was trying to bring you out, but you was chilling, communicating to understand. I like that. That's why I ask questions. Yeah, I don't expect to. I'm so used to being misunderstood that when I communicate, I have zero expectation of being understood, but I at least seek to understand the person that I'm talking to so I can walk away from that conversation knowing their perspective the way that they articulated it, right? I could go tell somebody else their perspective because I understand it, right? I want to be able to not just regurgitate it, but to understand it. I should be able to teach the way you think to somebody else. That's how much I want to listen. That's why us men, we don't get credit, fellas, for how well we listen. But that's why we're able to catch so much of the double talk because we be listening.
Classic.
Hey, man, we be listening, fellas. I got to give us our credit. You know what I'm saying?
Today I got time, cuz.
Yeah. Let me see. She said I was taking in other ladies' views. Yeah, y'all definitely was not an echo chamber last night. It was not an echo chamber last night. Not at all. A lot of different perspectives. I loved it too. It was awesome. So, but yeah, I think ultimately we've drawn a conclusion that men and women definitely see the concept of control differently. So that's interesting and unique, because that seems like a bit of a hurdle that couples would probably have to get across, like understanding what control and submission and direction and all of that looks like per household. That's something we got to dive into a little bit deeper. Agreed, guys. Let's see. Soft Rain said, I don't have a big female circle, so it's interesting hearing it. Yeah, listen, it's interesting for me to hear it too. You know what I mean? Especially the fork in the road question. I got to do a reaction to that. That was the first time I heard the question answered that way. She said, we splitting up and I'm taking the kids. Now that was new. Classic. That was new. They do understand classic, but they be projecting and not using that emotional intelligence they preach about accountability. Joe.
Sometimes you just gotta crash on that.
My man said they do understand it, classic, but they be projecting and not using that emotional intelligence they preach about accountability. Miles Bassett said women control men, but it's called something else. Manipulation? I don't know. Soft Rain said, sis is a soldier. I admire her for that. Hey, that was wild. Manipulation. Yeah. But see, that's crazy, because when we talked about manipulation yesterday on the women's panel, Miles Bachelor said bingo. But when we talked about manipulation yesterday on the women's panel, we didn't talk about manipulation as the term. We talked about the Jezebel spirit. But the Jezebel spirit involves a high level of manipulation. And the women actually agreed. Well, no, except for Soft Rain. Soft Rain said that she believes the Jezebel spirit is genderless, right? It's not attacking women or men more. It's just whoever's susceptible to it. Whereas the other lady said that the Jezebel spirit is carried more by men than women. I didn't take time to disagree on that because I wanted to progress the show, but I don't even know if God designed it like that, for men to be more manipulative than women. I don't even know if that's the case. And I'm not saying that to like be on the brother's side. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, I feel like manipulation is one of women's greatest skills, and they can use it for good or bad. It's like going to school and learning how to be an elite level hacker. You got to decide whether or not you want to take people's information or help companies protect everybody's information. You feel me? It's a skill. You can use it in either direction. Miles Bachelor said a woman may allow a man to feel in control. The Tears Down said, yes, sir. Yep. So this is an interesting one, man. This is an interesting one, but yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it's almost like, yeah, Joe Jett said, yes, manipulation, and it's why women are catty with each other, because they know each other's game but can't expose it. The internet exposed it for sure, though. The cat's out the bag. Pun intended. Lisa said The Art of Seduction. Dangerous book for sure. Dangerous book. Shout out to Lisa. Chat 333. Everybody following in. Dangerous book. But yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's definitely one of those things. It's unfortunate though, because it's masculinity entails two things, right? Dominance and assertiveness. Or leadership, dominance, you know, you can couple that in. Leadership, dominance, assertiveness. It's almost like now, because of a lot of reasons that are outside of our control, the women in this part of the world do exhibit somewhat more masculinity than the women of yesteryear. Men who claim to be masculine, they can't be masculine leader only or masculine dominant only. They'd have to have the assertiveness trait. If they don't have the assertiveness, they can't And that's why I think a lot of women, I'm cracking this code in real time right now. I'm just thinking through this out loud. Follow me, chat. If a man nowadays, if we accept that women have become a bit more masculine than the women of yesteryear, not just saying they straight up dudes, but they're a little hard, okay? If we just be real about that, for a man to get her to be feminine, which is what I think women are always articulating when they say, well, once I feel ... or once he gets to the point where I can see that he's this and that, then I can be more feminine, this, that, and the third. I think that a man has to get into his assertiveness bag. You fellas, what I'm saying to y'all in plain English is you got to be a bit of an asshole a little bit to tame that independent monster that they become when they spend all that time single. I don't think being chill, like too cool for school, I don't know if you're gonna be able to, what y'all say, ladies, handle the modern woman. If you just lay, like, you gonna have to get off that cool shit and tell her, hey, stop all that. Hey, we not doing that. You might have to get a little, you feel me? Like, you can't listen. You no longer can tell her to eat the cake. But understand that eat the cake was not a request. Eat the cake was not a request.
Classic.
You can no longer manage the way that the great Ike Turner did. You can no longer do that. But understand that it was an effective method. Walt, what up, Walt? Welcome to chat 333. I never seen you in here before. Welcome, Walt.
Classic.
Everybody dump them threes in the chat for Walt, everybody. 333 for Walt. We got somebody new to the gang. Welcome to chat 333. You much appreciated. Yes,
I'm only
Lord.
gonna do this once.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. We show love around here, man. I appreciate you. He said facts. But yeah. Lisa said the manual to manipulation. Yeah, the art of seduction is definitely the manual to manipulation. Look at them threes. Look at them threes, man. We got love in the chat, man. We got love in the chat. I appreciate y'all, chat. Showing some love. Tez in there. He said it wasn't a suggestion when he said it. Eat the cake was not a suggestion. It was not a suggestion. One of the greatest black managers of all time.
Classic.
Eat the cake was not a suggestion. Miles Basser said 3 and a third. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Show them some love. Make sure you subscribe. Everybody smash the like button. I need them likes up, up, up. They free, no charge. The super chat is open for those that want to spin, but we don't have to. So yeah, I think we coming to the conclusion here, man. It's kind of interesting, and it kind of ties in with the conversation that I had in regards to men, black men in particular, no longer having leadership over their households, and I think it kind of all is in the same pot of stew, with the manipulation that men, aren't circumventing because they have a lack of assertiveness. And then, it's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts to this. I damn near need to drop the link. Somebody need to join me to break this one down. But we're going to move forward. We got more segment to get to. And I actually want to have some fun with y'all today because I'm putting myself on the chopping block. So we're going to move off of this one. Let me give this podcast and this TikTok page their just due real quick. This is BTTS Podcast, all right? They're at 81.8K followers on TikTok. Y'all can tap in with them there if y'all want to absorb their content in a short format like the video that we just covered, or you can just tap in with them on the YouTube space and catch all their episodes in full. But it seems as though they have great content and great conversations, and so tap in with the BTTS Podcast for sure. I appreciate them being, a beacon of content for the day. Already. All right, y'all, let's move. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com, or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart and that heart.